Hey guys, Admiralbone here, and welcome back to World of Warships, where today I'm putting out the first episode of Captain's Academy 2.0. I couldn't think up of a better name, so that's what it is for now. If you guys want to change it, message me down in the comments below. So, today, to start off, because when you first log on, you're like, what the heck is all this? And you're going to be pretty confused. But you'll eventually figure out you just click on a ship and hit battle. However, there are a bunch of settings that would make playing your battle much easier. I don't see why Wargaming hasn't built them in now, because they're pretty much universally accepted as required at this point, but it's not for me to decide. So anyway, let's go over some game settings. So for graphics, up here you got like the resolution and all that. You can change that depending on if you're on a desktop or a laptop. Now down here is where it actually matters, though. This is where it affects how it looks and whatnot. So since my computer isn't the greatest, I have these all set on low to increase my game performance. Now you can kick it up a notch if you want, but I personally keep mine down low. Oh, and by the way, also if you're new, you're probably not going to understand what these are, so the bluish green, that's going to be your allies, red's going to be enemies, gold is a division, and pink, that's for violators, so that's if you were to team kill your opponent. Team kill. Don't team kill. Don't team kill, guys. It's bad. Now for audio, you're gonna see like your general volume and whatnot, and all these volume settings. And here's like your captain's voices, so you can set the language, set the sound quality. You can do voice chat. You can listen to your own music. Whatever you like. Here's where it really matters, controls. So up here's the battle camera, and these controls. Mouse sensitivity, you can fool with that if you want. Crosshair, we'll get to that in a minute. But down here at the bottom is where you're going to find most of the settings here. So terrain hit indicator, you're going to want that on. That's going to show, it's going to have a little island marker in your binocular vision when you can't shoot because there's an island in the way. So that is very useful, knowing you can shoot over islands. Next is collision avoidance system. I would recommend setting that to off. That's when you're about to crash into an island, it automatically steers you away. While it may seem useful, I really do find it annoying, so I have it off. Alternate interface battle mode, they used to have a box you could check over here, but now you can just do off. Adaptive, to kind of use the recommended settings, or full. I just do full because it gives you a lot of good information, like by your reticule it'll show shell time to target and the distance, so that's a lot of good information there. Alternate mouse controls, you can do that if you want. Rotate minimap, I have not tested that yet, so I'm not exactly sure what it does. Display team lineups, so on either side of your screen, without having to press tab, it'll show you all the ships and whatnot. Show both main battery and torpedo load indicators, so it kind of in the center of your screen towards the bottom, it'll have this little bar that is blue when you're ready to fire, and that shows the number of guns and torpedoes you can fire on that current trajectory. And then after you fire, it's going to turn orange and fill back up to full. So I'd recommend checking that box. Enable AA and secondary guns if priority target is set. I'm not too sure about that one. I'd just keep it checked anyway. Smoke screen boundaries. This is a really useful one. So when you pop smoke screen, you're like, well, where does it start? So it's going to have little rings showing where the smoke screen's at. Smoke screen timer. So when you pop your own smoke, it's going to show you how long until it expires and starts going away, which is really useful because your smoke screen is suddenly just gone and you're sitting stationary in water with a bunch of enemies around you. It's not going to be a good time. Counter for damage upon spotting. So you just check this, and by where your damage shows up in the top right corner of the screen, there's going to be a little icon. It looks like two little circles put together. So that's your damage upon spotting. So you're spotting enemies and your allies are doing damage to them. That's how that works. Counter for potential damage. That's going to be a shield icon. That's going to show how much damage you could have taken if every shell and torpedo that's passed within a certain radius of your ship hits and does full damage. So that's kind of a useful thing. Language bar, that would show like up here in the top left corner of the screen. That would show where you can switch languages if you so desire. Show time in port, that's just gonna at the bottom show you a little clock. And all scenarios of the training room, it's gonna let you train up versus bots in training rooms, and you can set them to difficulties and whether they're active and shooting you or not, or just want them to move. So that pretty much wraps it up for down here. Now we're gonna go to the crosshair. So this is what you see when you press your left shift key. So you can go static, and there are all these different types you can go. You can go for a white one, you can go for a white one that has even more lines back there, so one that goes to the edge of the screen. Type 3 goes even further. Type 4, you can take a black one so it shows up better. Type 5, it's just a bunch of numbers, so that'll help you aim. 6, I really don't recommend using this one if you're a beginner, because there are no numbers, and you can use those to calculate how much lead you have to give. Type 7, this is like when ships are coming at you from different angles. This one would be useful. 8 is basically a black version. 9, 10, that's an interesting one. 11 and 12. Yeah, I haven't looked at most of these, but what I really recommend using is dynamic, because when you can also go into your binocular view using your mouse scroll wheel, and it's gonna, if you zoom out one, it's gonna let you lead it a little bit better so you can actually see the ships, but this bar here is gonna adjust as you scroll out, whereas with these static ones, it's just gonna stay directly like this and not move at all, whereas this would add more numbers on the end. So I really recommend using the dynamic crosshair. For controls, I honestly just recommend not touching it, leaving everything the same. But if you don't know all these controls, you can just look over them. There's also submarine controls for the Halloween event. But yeah, guys, that's gonna do it for this video on the settings. So hopefully this will make your battles a more enjoyable experience, and you'll get some good detailed information, and you can do really good. But let me know in the comments what I should call my series, because I'll admit the name needs work a little bit, but I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you next time.